Coming into being. Here we are for another episode, another uh, moment of just coming into the space, connecting with ourselves, and just chilling out. And little messages that pop up on your phone there get in the way. Hello, Caroline. Good to see you. And if you're out there, just stop by and say hello in the chat, and I'll send my message out too. So, welcome everybody. Interesting times we are here in. This was kind of a sticky weekend. Hey, Sydney, over on the other side today. So good to see you guys. And Wisdom Happy, hello. So let's take a deep breath in. Yeah, this weekend was kind of just a lot stirring up. So solar flares and all that. And Lydia, hello. Good to see you. It's always fun to see the people showing up like, on a regular basis. And it's sort of like getting together with your friends here. It certainly feels that way for me. So let's take a moment to just take in your environment. And just look around. And take the time to notice things that are always there, that we kind of go by quickly. And because they're so familiar, we just kind of like zoom by unless we're doing like the dusting or whatever, the vacuuming, then we start noticing all the stuff. But because we have to move it out of the way to, So just let yourself just sink in a minute into this present moment and just be in your environment. Very simply put, just being in your environment. And whatever is going on, so if you're in a noisy environment, for example, it's not too bad here right now, but you might be in a noisy environment or have neighbors or the chickens downstairs or in the basement or the roommate next door, or whatever, or the squirrel in the walls. I lived in a place where we got squirrels in the wall one time, but even with all the noise, just come back into your environment, because if you're in, let's say you're in a room and it's just you, then notice that and notice where you are. Notice the sounds you're hearing relative to where you are. So it's almost like you're on a grid board, and it's like you've got your place, and it's like, okay, there's where is that noise relative to me if it was like on a grid. I kind of notice that and have a sense of that, to come into here, to now, to your space. Your time and space is identified by your physical body. And noise is interesting because noise carries really far. Like this morning, I was sitting on the beach and somebody was shooting up flares on the other side of the bay for, I don't know, it looks like they were just practicing or something. And it was interesting because I noticed it. So I was watching in that direction, and then I saw the red in the sky and then slowly sinking down. And then I heard the noise, the time it takes to travel across. But when it's closer, like there's street noise here for me. And it feels like it's right at the same level, but I'm 2 floors above the street. So notice that. You kind of really become aware with the sounds that you're hearing, the distance that they are from you, to really help bring yourself even more into you. You're here and now. And when you get really pulled into your body, you might even kind of all of a sudden notice it's like, oh, wow, it's almost like there's this wave coming through, like from the sound. It's this wave pattern that's coming through the air, that's coming in your direction, kind of thing. And yeah, just slowing the breath down. Let's take a nice deep breath in. Now hold it at the top for a couple minutes and then relax it out. Relaxing it out on the exhale. Yeah. Coming into that lower spine. That's always a good place to come into when you're feeling nervous or anxious or stressed. Just kind of focusing on your tailbone and your sacrum, just to help bring you into that and pull you down. And kind of staying with that, staying in that tailbone. You know, feeling that anchor, and it's like that little triangular shape of the sacrum. Just kind of feel like it's pointing down, showing you down, 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 connecting to the earth. And getting everybody into the space here. Somebody was kind of standing more to the sidelines. Caroline, that kind of felt like that was you. Standing a little bit more to the side. So I'd just come in and be more kind of immersed in the, instead of watching. And that's all right. There's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes we kind of stand at the back because we're observing more. So right now, let's put that aside and let's just come in. This is like everybody's time here. Oh, Hilaria, hi. Good to have you here. Join us today. Yeah, and notice everything, you know, as you bring your awareness into your tailbone and feel yourself again inside. So we keep going over this, and it's just good review to just keep doing this and practicing to reinforce that of being inside, like looking out from within this little structure of our body. And as you pull in, yeah, okay, I'll get to that in a minute. As you pull in more, then you create more separation between you and the external. Now, there's abuse pattern that's showing up. So that is making it more difficult to come into your body. That could be more than one person on here. And to some extent, that's going to apply to all of us. I think most people have, in some shape or form, been abused. And we tend to think of abuse as, you know, the kind of the extreme of getting smacked around or you know, hit or beaten up or sexually assaulted or, you know, verbally assaulted and kind of thing. I'm going to extend that definition for you. So that's what we could categorize as extreme abuse. But abuse is any time that something comes into you or comes into your space that or somebody is taking you away from yourself. So that somebody includes ourselves. As we get into these habitual patterns of doing something, and so we've kind of cleared out maybe the situation, but then we're still in those patterns. And so that's the way that we abuse ourselves, by staying in that pattern of doing the same thing. Was it Einstein or something that said, you know, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, right? And we have to get to a point where we realize it's like, oh, I'm just habitually doing this. and stand back and just kind of look at that for ourselves. So anyway, so there's a little bit of abuse patterning that was showing up and creating some tension about coming into the body. A little poor connectivity on, there we go. Just popped right back in for Instagram. Making it difficult to come in. And so because of not feeling safe. So we have worked on that safe issue before on coming into being. I think it was a couple weeks back. Right? So I'll probably work on that a little bit more today. But notice that if you're feeling uncomfortable to any degree, even if it's just like a little bit of coming into your body, just notice that and just be with wherever you're at and just be present with that. So right now, I'll just do wherever you are relative to coming into your body more. And some of you are more like maybe up in your heads more kind of thing. And so not coming down, that's a different form, or being out and then coming in, pulling in within your body. So wherever you are for yourself, just notice where you are. Don't worry about shifting. We'll do this all together. Just be present with exactly what's going on for you right now. Don't run away from that. You know, you have to allow yourself to be present with yourself with whatever is coming up for you, because that is a form of self-love. Loving yourself, loving exactly how you are in this moment, instead of trying to make yourself perfect or better or with some image of, you know, this is how I'm supposed to be. And relax into that. Just relax into that. And you don't have to like it. That's okay. Yeah, so just breathing into that, breathing into the discomfort. You don't have to pull in further, but just as far as you can, and feeling that discomfort without pushing yourself too far. Breathing into that. Feeling whatever emotions might be coming up, you know, frustration or grief or anger, holding back that anger. Ilaria, you've got a little bit of that coming up for you here. Just holding back that anger. And sometimes it's like we either have been angry for so long, or we've learned not to be angry, that it's not nice, it's not pretty, it's not whatever, feminine to be angry. And even for men, so there's, you know, there's situations, you know, so it might be situational, but even for men, there's been this piece of not really fully expressing your anger in a good way, because it made somebody feel unsafe, possibly, for example. So that's that, and that could be both men and women getting that. Somebody in the family, somebody in your environment when you were young, always getting angry or yelling, and you're seeing that, you're realizing how horrible that feels, and you say, I'm never going to do that to anybody else. So you hold back that anger, and sometimes we just need to express that. So it's about finding the healthy way to express that, allowing ourselves to acknowledge that is the first thing that I'm feeling angry. And it's not about throwing it out there at everybody, but it's about feeling that expression come through. And there's different ways of that you can work through that expression, but finding the way to allow it to come through. You know, journaling is one way. Hey, Asta, journaling is one way to do that. Movement is another way to do that. Like you feel this anger, let your body move with it. It could be like punching a pillow, uh, slamming your fist down on the mattress, standing there. So if you're going to do the slamming here, fist or punching the pillows, here's actually the slamming down. This is a really good exercise. This is from bioenergetics. Uh, 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 the what followed Carl Jung, but nobody learns about it. But anyways, with Wilhelm Reich and some other people, Alexander Lowen group, which is a type of psychological therapy that includes psychology, energy, and movement to move it through the physical body. So the physical, energetic, and mental all together. You want to stand kind of Qigong style, so your feet about hips width apart, not knees a little bit bent, and you raise your hands up. So you're kind of squatting a little bit, not too much, just slightly bent. You raise your hands up and you boom, and you just boom, and you just let it out. And it's kind of a controlled boom. And because you bring your arms up, you just go, you're not going, like a little kid, like a little baby or something, but you bring your arms up, and then from that upward position, you just move it through your all the way through your body and slam your wrist on on the mattress, kind of thing. Okay, I'll get to that question in a minute, Ilaria. I used to do bioenergetics in my 20s. Yeah, if you find a really good practitioner, man, I've experienced that. It can be very good work, and if you find a really good person, then it's fantastic. I think my sense, Wisdom Happy, is that you got to a point where you start to feel uncomfortable and kind of pulled back a little bit and from doing it. You got to a place where you got a little scared about what was starting to come through for you. But it seemed like that, and that happens too. That happens to a lot of us. So no judgment there. Just sometimes we get to this place where it's like, whoa, okay, this is really opening things up. It's like, I don't know if I'm ready for that. So that's all right. So let's take a deep breath in, hold it at the top, see how long you can hold it for without keeling over, turning blue. And then just release it all out. And then feeling yourself just melting into your body a little bit more. And just letting ourselves go all the way down. She was my first therapist of my life. Previous persons, they were abusive. Yeah, I'm not surprised, because that's just a kind of patterns. It's kind of hard. It's not. It's not always easy to find someone to be able to. Let me rephrase that. It's not always easy to pick someone who will actually not be in that patterning. She was on my level. Well, hopefully she was higher than your level so that she can help you move higher. That's what you want to do with people. But good, that's good. Sounds like it was, to some extent at least, it was helpful for you. So that's good. And yeah. So sinking into that lower, all the way down to the lower abdomen. Yeah, okay, we're gonna sit here for a little bit because there's a lot of juice here, a lot of good stuff. So just feeling, if you want to put your hands on your lower abdomen, you can do that. Just like you're holding yourself there. Wavelength. Oh, got it. Got it about the wavelength. Well, okay, so that's a good point. Let me change that around for you. Where you said the 2-3 sessions with abusive person does not count as real therapy. Let's shift that for you because there is anger around that, and that's good. So feel into that anger and let that come through for you. Um, and when you get deep enough with that anger, you'll understand where the abuse was really coming from. So it's not that the person was not abusive, okay? I'm not saying that, but you'll understand a deeper layer of who was abusing you with that. But the other piece I want to say, and that's a really good point. So for everyone, is whatever happens in your life, you can always use it for good in the sense that you can use it to propel yourself forward into a better place. So if it's a negative experience, is that you can use that experience saying, I'm never going to do that to myself again, right? And you're just like, nope, this is it, okay? And sometimes we need to have those experiences to say, wait, no, I deserve more than that. So, yeah. So it counted as therapy in the sense that in those 2-3 sessions, you realize it's like, this isn't working for me. And that's important too, because if you hadn't realized that, you could have been going on that therapist for over and over and over and over again for a long time. So that was useful. Yeah. Okay. Really bringing your awareness that, yeah, I want to go a little deeper just to I'm going to do a little bit more house cleaning here. Going a little deeper. Just in that lower abdomen. There we go. Feeling yourself there, feeling you, feeling your body. This is you. Let's pull out some people out of there. Oops. Yeah. Good work. Yeah, that's clearing out a whole slew of things. Conflict of interest. Well, that's good for her for saying that. You know, she was being clear on what was her limit. So really good. So we can acknowledge that for her because a lot of people would have just kind of continued. Hear stories of people who go to Vane, VP, hello. Welcome. We usually start at 7 o'clock, but that's all right. And Nessa, hey, hello, Nessa. Good to see you. That's been a while. So taking a deep breath in, if you're just jumping in now and coming into the lower abdomen area, the lower half of the abdomen, we're kind of clearing that area out. Vane, so it's so good to see you. And so, okay, Like, you know me, so it's like, all right, people have these names, so, uh, and I can't think of who you are, but good to see you. Thanks for joining in. Okay, wisdom happy. See if you can just take another deep breath in. Hold it. Let's everybody do this. Take a deep breath in. Hold it at the top. Hold it for a count of 5 or even 10 if you can, and then just let it all out and come back in. Let yourself float down into the lower abdomen. And again, put your hands in, so it's going in a little bit deeper. You feel like it feels like somebody's going, kind of trying to catch their breath, like it's getting a little scary. That's all right. There's a lot of abuse down here for people. Just being easy with yourself. Gently breathing there, yeah. And just let yourself go as deep as you can into what you're feeling. You don't have to go all the way in, but at least sit with what's coming up. Nessa, you feel like you've got some few people, people plugged into you down there. Kind of wondering how the kids are doing. Let's see if we can remove some more of those connections for people so that they can just kind of get refreshed here. Oh, like it's kind of hard to be by yourself. So if we have a hard time being by ourselves, and probably many of us here on the call, include myself, can probably have remembered times, maybe not necessarily all the time, but when we're like, oh, and in that place of just not feeling comfortable being by ourselves or being alone, reaching out and connecting to someone else. And we kind of tell us like, oh yeah, I haven't talked to so-and-so in a long time, I'll give them a call. But it's not the action, it's the reason behind the action. And the reason behind the action is like, I don't feel comfortable here alone. And feeling that, well, like it's scary even being alone. And even to the point for at least 1 or 2 people of to the point of that is unsafe. Like getting abandoned, getting left behind. I know somebody whose parents were drug dealers when she was young, and they would just leave her on a park bench and like take off, like if they saw the cops or something or whatever they were doing. And just leave her sitting on the park bench. We're talking about like a 2-year-old. So that feels very unsafe. So that kind of all of a sudden, that's a form of abuse. So that's coming up for you. Just kind of just breathe into that. Let's shift all that. Yeah. And just staying present with the breath. There's some dark stuff here coming up, so I'm glad it's coming up because that means people are feeling safe enough to let that surface. Even darker stuff, almost like being locked, being shut into the cellar kind of situations. So breathing into that and having that love for that part of each one of you that has gone through within yourself. So love for yourself, and then this space of just love of having gone through that and just witnessing that. Don't need to do anything else. You don't need to try to make it feel better, to try to make it go away. Just breathe right into that. And it feels a little edgy. That's all right. Yeah, that's okay. This is not easy to just kind of feel that, feel this deep level of stuff here. There we go. But just being present with yourself and having the level of strength to be here with everybody else. It's really good. I'm really proud of all of you with this. But it's a level of love that I want you to recognize for yourself. Just being present. No need to do anything else. No need to try to heal it, to fix it, to make it better. No, just surrendering to that. And it's that surrendering to that helplessness, because there's a part of us that just wants to help that other part of us. This is taking off a really nice layer, so really good work. Just keep focusing on your breath. And it's actually that piece of not being able to give ourselves that time. So when I say us, it's every single one of you, to whatever extent it applies to you, not having been able to just be present with yourself has acted like a kind of like a holding cage for yourself. Not so really good. Keep focusing on your breath as we move through this. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, good. There's a little bit of a freak out because all of a sudden that's gone. It's like, whoa, that was kind of the safe space here, but bringing in a higher level feeling of safe, so that that cage can be let go of too. That was the best way that was available for feeling safe at the time. That's fine. No judgments there. We do the best we can in the moment. And let's move on up out of this. Yeah, everybody's almost shifted through. Good, really good. There we go. So a lot of this is coming up because there's just even just the alignments of the planets or what's happening on the sun is going to actually activate stuff like that for us. Like I said, this is kind of a heavy weekend for bringing more to the surface of deeper stuff that we can just clear out. Yeah, there we go. All right. So it's likely why this happened. And sometimes we get to this place where we feel like, oh God, this again, because we keep going through this stuff over and over again. But we're just going to deeper layers. And each time it comes up, it's a way of going up to a higher level. So you clear to the level that you're at, and then you clear more to move up into the next higher level, because as we move up, we need to refine more and more and get to high vibrational states. So you might have cleared enough to be at the level that you've been, and then it's like, okay, we want to go higher now. So we need to release more of this stuff, so that's why we kind of see more of the same. So, or what feels like more of the same, let me put it that way. Deep breath in. All right. For some, it feels a little kind of, whoa, this feels a little, almost like it feels kind of itchy. Like the sweater kind of feels funny because we're not, that kind of thing. Because it's not familiar and it's a little scary. So part of the reason I said itchy, because you think, okay, we're trying something new, it should feel kind of comfortable, right? And it's like, but it's that, well, okay, I'm going to make it feel itchy because it's like, I don't know if I want to stay here. We get into there's these little mind games that start happening within us, especially coming from that part of us that likes to get into habitual patterns and stay there because it's comfortable. We know what we're doing. Hey, Joni, take a deep breath in and just settle in. We're kind of getting to the end of this, but that's always fun to people have. Okay, yeah, Ilaria, I haven't forgotten you. I just need to focus on this. Just Ilaria and just everybody else, just kind of come in more deeply into your body. Focus on the core. So if you feel something in a particular place, come in more deeply to separate out from that piece. Ah. Wow, okay, good. Hey, Glenna, a doctor's appointment. Have this on. Oh, well, nice to have you join in. Hope it's an easy doctor's appointment. I haven't been to the doctor in a really long time. So that's never fun to do that. Oh. Ah, a deep breath in again, holding at the top and releasing out. Come into your chest space. Really feel yourself at your core, at your center. You have that little stick poking at you in the back there. Just come in more into yourself and say no. And coming into, and putting aside what other people have said for a minute. We'll get to that, but really pulling into that core, to that brightness of you, and separating out from. Yeah, there we go. You've got somebody poking you in your back, Laria. You've got the back is a real control center. So the back between the shoulder blades is the back of basically the heart space. So people will come in and cord into you. What we say cord into you will kind of just come in and kind of hang on to you, and people will try to control you. And that was one of the places you will feel it, is in the back of the heart, and back in your shoulders, and back of your neck, your solar plexus. It can come up everywhere. So honestly, I think your whole body is a radar if you pay attention to it. Yeah, that could have, if you're doing a program like that, like the immersion, that will activate certain things. But part of what's going on is you're kind of aware that for whatever reason, you're aware of that attachment. I have had stuff to do with my lower back and sciatic nerve for the past week, definitely to do with control. Yeah. And of course, there's that lower back connects up to the occipital area of your and that's a heavy control area plugged in, where you get plugged into at various levels. That happened. I got really good insights in the middle of the night. And when you feel that getting plugged in, it's really bizarre. I kind of went through a night where I could actually felt like it was, I was living the Matrix. I was Neo with those plugs. And I was that scene where he's all plugged in, and it's just like, that was one of my nights a couple weeks ago. Yes, aware of attachment of others much more accurately nowadays. Yeah. So when you feel something, so I'm going to do my cheek because everybody can see my cheek, right? My jaw. Let's say you feel like this, there's something like poking at you. Okay. Say, okay, I can feel that. That is not me. And come and feel your body. It can be hard because it feels like, well, I'm feeling this. It feels like it's my body. No, it's not. It's this thing just poking it at you. And so you are noticing this part. You're not noticing this part. You're noticing the poking part. Come into your body more, and it might be hard to hold that, but bringing your awareness in more physically into your body, and it's a little hard with the shoulder blades. I've done this with the back of my shoulder, the back of my shoulder area, up the shoulder, where I take my sweater or whatever I'm wearing and pull it and just push my back against it so I can feel that area, just to make that tangible feeling of my body, or you can lean back against the wall, hit yourself or do so that it's okay. This is like if you scratch your cheek like that, okay, that you start because like, okay, yeah, there's my body. It's that physical registration in the nervous system into your brain. body. This is my body. This thing over here going like this is not me. This is my body. So that's, do that when you feel that. Don't just like, because what happens is when you're sitting here feeling into that poke, 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 your awareness, your energy, you are into that poke, poke, poke you've pulled out of your body. And so that makes that poke, poke, poke just kind of going in there even deeper. So that's it's not always necessarily easy to do because it's like, well, God, that feels like my body, and separating out, and you're out here and see, and you're trying to separate out, and you're putting your awareness on this other piece. It's like, okay, no, it's like, come into your body, feel your body, touch that body part, bring in that tactile sensation if you need to, as much as you need to help yourself separate out, especially at the beginning. And then no, and then it's like, no, I am staying right here on my body. I'm not going to go to this other thing over here. Absolutely not. Doing that will separate you out to at least some amount, and then you might have to keep working at it. Sometimes it just keeps coming back or deeper. So it kind of depends on that attachment piece and the attachment within yourself to that, being attached to that attachment piece, because that's something that we're used to. So Ilaria or anybody else. All right, let's take a nice deep breath in. Okay, that was a good deep session. A lot of stuff came up, a lot of good clearing. How's everybody feeling here? So really good work, everybody, for staying present, staying with it. To whatever degree you were able to do that, is good. So don't kind of go into like, oh, well, gosh, I could have gone in deeper. I still feel that thing. It's like, yeah, whatever. No, it's like, okay, got here. All right. I know maybe I could have gone better. A big let go. Oh, good for you. We can always do better. We can always do better. And it's just next time it's like, okay, we're going to go deeper. We're just going to hang in there more. And you keep working at it and you keep growing into that. So me too, Ilaria. There we go. So that's from Sydney. Yeah, I guess you guys are on the same side. So very good. Good work. Any other comments that anybody has would like to share with the group? As we do that on YouTube, I'll share my little value donation. If you care to make a donation valuing the work that you have gotten and you have done for yourself, and valuing yourself and what you've received. There's the QR code on YouTube and in Instagram. If you go to the link in the bio and then follow that Linktree link, you can do that via the website. Running nose and sneezing now. All right. Let's clear that out. Just clearing, a lot of clearing happening there. Very good. All right. Well, if that's all for now, any more comments? I'll just pause for a minute. Yeah, thank you. It's nice to see some people I haven't seen in a really long time showing up. Good to see everybody. And Vane VP. Okay, now you got this. Like, who is that? You sound like you really know me. It's like, so good to see you. Yes, well, good to see you too. And Nessa, nice to see you. Sometimes I wonder how the girls are doing sometimes, and good to have you join in. Ilaria, thank you, Marianne. Always potent clearing. Good. And thank you all for showing up for yourselves and participating. It's me doing the work, but also as people show up, people come. There's this magnitude of the work that it gets amplified by the people also showing up and saying, "Okay, we're going to do this." Absolutely. So. Thank you so much, Marianne. I really look forward to these every Wednesdays. Good. I look forward to seeing you all here too. It's so much fun. So I'm glad you enjoy that. And anything I should say? Okay, well, I'm thinking about it. So if you're curious about my work, or you can always go to my website, unboundedandfree.com. Instagram, you can follow the link in the bio and just check out what I do. Yeah, so and I also have like a blog. I haven't written in a long time, but there's some good pieces in there on things like what relationship really is, stuff like that. So, well, good to see everybody, and until next Wednesday or wherever else we meet up in the ethers or elsewhere. It's always nice. I thoroughly enjoy Wednesdays. I get a lot out of it. Good. I'm really glad. Yeah, good to hear. Glad you're coming in as well. Wisdom Happy. It's good to see you. I really recommend Marianne's sessions. Thanks, Ilaria. Yeah, I try to really make my sessions about giving people the tools and doing the work and standing on their own. So it's not one of these, oh, well, you got to come back and do this and do more. I mean, sometimes, yeah, there is some people, but I kind of am very cautious with that because I'm not interested in getting people to do long term with me and keep coming back. And it's really about you being able to decide for yourself to when you need a session, Instagram is blinking in and out. There was actually a call coming in. Yeah, for me, that's always been really important, is for people to really learn to stand on their own and do their own work. So it's not easy to do that. It's a lot easier to have somebody that we go to regularly. And sometimes, yes, we do need that. Or sometimes it's good to do a group of sessions to just kind of plow through something. And then it's about standing back on your own and seeing, okay, let's see where I can do this for myself. And so that makes you strengthen. It makes it real clear. It's like, okay, yeah, this is a weak area for me, and I'm having a hard time kind of shift through. Had a session, mega life changing. Yeah, that was a good one. Be good to do some more whenever that shows up. But I think that was a really good start for you. So I'm glad to hear it. You found it helpful and useful for you. So, okay, folks. Good chat. Good to see everybody, and have a good week with the solar flares, the sun dancing around us out there, and shooting off all sorts of things. And until next Wednesday, or again, wherever else we see you in the ethers, or who knows where else. All right. Okay. I'll look forward to that. Winston Happy. Whenever you feel is the right time, So, all right. Take care, everybody.